To check yourself at home to see if your abdominal muscles have separated, you're going to lie down in sort of a classic crunch position, and you're going to place your fingertips lengthwise along your midline, pointing down towards the pubic bone. Place them right at the belly button, and then lift and lower your head a few times. And you're feeling for the gully between the two halves of the rectus abdominis. So you're feeling for where the muscles kind of grab your fingers. And it's really important to lift your head just barely up, perfect, and then lower to get an accurate measurement. The most common error I see is that people lift their heads too high, and when you lift your head too high, the abs kind of barrel forward and then start to come back towards the midline. So you'll get an erroneously narrow measurement if you lift the head too high. So that was the first measurement site, at the belly button. Now we're also going to measure the distance between the abs about 2.5 inches above the belly button. So again, the fingertips point down towards the pubic bone, and then you're going to lift and lower your head a few times, and you're feeling for that distance between the two halves of the rectus abdominis. Good. As you feel each site, make a note both of how many fingers fit in the gap. That's your width measurement. So it might be 3 fingers, which is about 3 centimeters. It might be 4, it might be 2. You also want to make note of how deeply your fingers sink into that gully. Is it to the nail bed? Is it to the first knuckle? Is it past the first knuckle? Use landmarks like that and make a note of it, because as you resolve diastasis, you will notice a big improvement both in the width of the separation, also in the depth. Both of those will improve over those 12 weeks of our Reclaim program. Okay, let's also place the fingers about 2.5 inches below. This is the third and final measurement site. And go ahead and lift your head and lower. And let's do one more. Lift your head just a little bit and lower. Beautiful. Now, the diagnostic criteria for diastasis recti is 2.5 centimeters in width or greater. So if you could not quite fit 2 fingers in the gap, you do not have a clinical abdominal separation. There's still room for improvement, and you can achieve that through our Surpass program. However, if you could easily fit 2 fingers or more in that gully, then you do have diastasis recti, and you would benefit from staying in Reclaim. That is exactly the place for you. But take heart, because our program is proven to resolve abdominal separation. In addition to checking for that gap, how deep and how wide that gap is between the muscles, I also encourage you to track your improvements with a measuring tape, because as you bring those muscles back together towards the midline, you will see dramatic measurable change in your waistline. So I want you to measure at 2 different sites at home. One is considered an abdominal or belly circumference. And for that, you want to find your belly button as a landmark, and you're going to wrap it around, pull in just a little bit, so you're not like really pulling in tightly, you're just kind of a gentle snug measurement, and you're going to measure what that circumference is right at the belly button. Write it down. And then you're going to do a second one that's a little bit above the belly button, and this is actually your natural waistline. It's the narrowest circumference between the hips and the ribs, so that's usually higher than people expect, and you're going to measure that and make a note of that circumference, because literally as you bring those muscles back together, you will see inches fall off your waist in weeks. It is amazing how significant that improvement is. And finally, in addition to checking for the gap between the muscles and your circumference measurements, I also encourage you to take, just for yourself, before and after photos at home. Take them both straight on and from a profile view, so you can see over time how dramatically the shape of your abdomen changes. Remember that it's not just about closing the gap. Our Embody program will help you restore core strength and function, improve your back health, stop leaking. Everything works and feels better when you get your core to fire like it should. This solution is scalable, so if all you have right now are a few minutes a day to devote to that core strengthening exercise, you will see dramatic improvement. But when you're ready to go for bigger goals, we have all the workouts, we have all the instruction, we have all the coaching that you need to make this fit into your life right now where you're at and to get to where you're going. Wherever you are in your journey as a mother, we are here to coach you and to guide you to core safety and full fitness. I am so glad you're here.